Donald Trump has once again escalated his rhetoric towards Iran. A fresh warning on his Truth Social is once again raising eyebrows. This comes at a moment when diplomatic channels between Washington and Tehran are already stalled, and the Strait of Hormuz remains a major flashpoint for global energy security. Trump's posts seem to be adding fresh rhetorical heat to an already volatile situation. The latest warning in a Truth Social post shows an AI-generated picture of Trump holding an assault rifle, as you can see. The thumbnail on this picture reads, "No more Mr. Nice Guy," with a bold warning to Iran to get their act together and get smart soon. This latest warning comes as ceasefire and non-nuclear talks remain stalled. Negotiations, which were expected to continue earlier this month, were disrupted after the abrupt cancellation of the second round of talks, including a planned visit for American negotiators. Now, the first round of engagements, which took place in Islamabad involving the Vice President J.D. Vance, ended without any breakthrough. What was expected to be a gradual diplomatic track has instead dissolved into a pattern of missed meetings, cancelled trips, and hardening positions on both sides. The articulated position of U.S. in this war is to stop Iran's nuclear enrichment program, as it remains the focal point of Trump's as well as Netanyahu's military campaign in Iran. At the same time, Donald Trump has sought to project a picture of military and strategic superiority. From the clock is ticking message to Iran's navy lying at the bottom of the sea to time is not on their side, Trump has posted several times mocking Iran and tried posturing the strength of his own military campaign. This escalation in words is not occurring in isolation. It follows a period of intensifying tensions around the Hormuz, which, remember, remains under American blockade but under Iranian control. The result has been a continuing disruption to global energy flows and a deepening stalemate between the two sides. Iran says that it would consider reopening the strait if the U.S. sanctions and blockades on its ports are lifted and the conflict comes to an end. But at present, both sides remain locked in a cycle of action and counteraction. With every day, the Iran conflict and the closure of the Strait of Hormuz continue. The global impact and economic fallout increase. The fate of the global economy now depends on whether and when a real ceasefire emerges, the stalemate holds, or the conflict widens. A World Bank and International Monetary Fund research shows that 15% of global oil supply still blocked at the Strait of Hormuz. That runs up to 15.8 million barrels per day, which is roughly 62,000 barrels per day of jet fuel, which is also blocked at the strait. Global GDP losses currently stand at $590 billion, or over 0.5% of world GDP, if the conflict ends now. In the most likely scenario, based on the current back and forth between the U.S. and Iran, is a phantom ceasefire. Under this scenario, the global GDP loss is estimated at $3.57 trillion if the war continues for another month. The scarcity and supply crisis is reflected in the difference between the physical oil price of over $140 per barrel and benchmark Brent futures trading at around $110. The over $30 premium confirms the physical market scarcity. So Trump's "no more Mr. Nice Guy" statement takes on a dual interpretation. On the one hand, it can be read as classic negotiating posture intended to project strength, increase pressure on Iran to force concession at the negotiation table. On the other hand, it comes as signs of returning to war, especially when diplomatic talks are breaking down, military rhetoric is intensifying, and global economic stakes are rising sharply.